Work Matters at the Library is a national programme that supports business and employment in three key areas: job seekers, those looking to change career, and new, small and micro businesses. The programme aims to bring library customers and the general public together with agencies and organisations who provide services and expertise. For those who are currently job seeking, preparing their CVs or getting ready for aptitude tests or interviews, the library has access to physical and online resources to aid them in their journey. All of these resources will be listed below and at the end of the video. My name is Laura Keane and I am from Matrix Recruitment Group. I'm here to guide you through some of the key stages when looking for a job. There's 6 videos in this series, and if you require any further information throughout, please get in touch and we'd be happy to help. Let's get started. Hi there, my name is Laura Keane and I'm from Matrix Recruitment Group. Today we're looking at the ultimate interview guide, whether it's an in-person interview or online. We're going to go through all of that today. First thing is to think of before your interview. Before you even sit down in front of someone in person or virtually, this is what you need to do. Research the company. Do your homework. Look on LinkedIn. Make sure you're checking out what kind of posts they're putting up on their website. Go into a little bit more depth. Maybe go onto their Twitter. See have they any recent announcents about a new product they're launching. Have your CV at hand. Make sure you're really familiar with your CV as well, because the interviewer might skip through certain parts, might ask you about a specific section on your CV. Get yourself really familiar with it. Know your top 5 key skills. This is a point that it's not often that you would hear this, but if you know what your top 5 skills are, you can kind of drop them into conversation throughout the interview. It's just a really good technique. Practice makes perfect. I would suggest maybe hopping on a video and just videoing yourself. No one else has to see it, and just practice, I suppose, interviewing yourself nearly. Or if you're comfortable, get maybe a friend or a family member to interview you. Look at the job description, the job spec for the job that you're applying for and that you're going for interview for, and highlight some of the key things that you think are needed for this job, and get yourself familiar with them because you could bring them up in the interview as well. So you're an in-person interview. Before COVID, this was the norm, and it is kind of coming back now. There's more and more people open to meeting people physically now again. Arrive 10 minutes early. Any earlier than that, it's a little bit kind of borderline of inappropriate. 10 minutes is more than enough. Dress and act professionally. Bring multiple copies of your CV. You may be being interviewed by multiple people. Practice answering questions beforehand. We'll go into questions in a couple of minutes. Keep eye contact and actively listen. So, when they're speaking, you're nodding, you're, engaging in the listening as well. At the end, ask 1 or 2 questions. It might be about the company culture. Questions I would not ask would be around, do we have many work nights out, or, can I get a half day every Friday? Something like that is not appropriate. Something about the culture, do you guys have a social committee? I'd love to be a part of that. Maybe something about, I suppose, what is the structure like in the company? Who will I be reporting into? Things like that. And definitely thank the interviewer for their time. So you are having a virtual interview over Zoom or Microsoft Teams, etc. Make sure you have a quiet area in your home set up. You won't be distracted. It's just you there, and it's very, very quiet. No background noise. Before your interview, test the internet connection. Make sure you can log into Zoom or Teams or whatever platform you're using. Make sure the device you're using is fully charged, or whether it's your laptop, your tablet, your phone, and just have your charger at hand just in case. Focus on the camera, not the screen. So you'll see here I'm looking at the camera and then I'm looking at the screen. There is a difference because I suppose it's your connection to them, it's eye contact. Again, these 3 are the same as before. Dress and act professionally. Even if you have your pajamas on, make sure you have something professional on top that can be seen by the interviewer. Ask one or two appropriate questions and thank the interviewer for their time. Some general interview questions that you can pre-prepare before the interview. I'm not going to go through all of these. I'll leave you go through them yourself. But like I always say, have a pen and paper beside you. Answer these questions, not just in your head, but actually physically write them down on a piece of paper. This will allow you to reread it and to get yourself really familiar with it. Competency-based questions. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these here now, but these are the types of competency-based questions that you could be asked. I will go through how to answer competency-based questions because they are slightly different. So, a competency-based question, you want to tell it like a story, but a very condensed, focused story, and you're the main character. You're set a challenge or you find yourself in a sticky situation. You have to go on a journey to get to the answer, and you finally do get to the answer, you solve the problem, and you learned a lot along the way. That sounds very easy and very straightforward, but it can be very easy to go off focus and maybe waffle on a little bit. So you want to make sure to, what are they asking me here? Stick to the question. And also here, you can definitely pre-prepare these answers too and be a star storyteller. So the STAR technique, situation, task, action, result. You can break down your competency-based answers using this formula. I have put in an example here. I won't read through it. I'll leave you to that. But tell me about a time you failed. What happened and what did you learn? So like I said, like a story, you find yourself in a situation, you have to go on a journey to get to to resolve the situation. You finally do resolve it and you learned loads along the way. Some very common interview mistakes to avoid. Avoid negative talk. What I mean by this is avoid backstabbing your current employer or previous employers. Just don't engage with it. If the interviewer is kind of trying to engage in it, just say, I'm not comfortable talking about that, or, I had a great time with that company. They were brilliant to me and I'd like to just leave it at that. Take time to prepare. Preparation is key for an interview. And I guarantee you, if you do not prepare, it will be so obvious to the interviewer. If you do prepare the interview, you will just feel like it goes smoother. You're more confident. You're more at ease with yourself. You don't feel like you're being put on the spot because you've prepared it all. Try not to talk too much. Answer the question. If there's a silence, that's okay. Leave the interviewer then engage or ask another question. Don't feel like you need to fill up all the space with talking. The interviewer should be engaging with you and asking you questions. Like I said already, actively listen. Nod the head, engage with the person who's interviewing you. And then ask questions, like I said, appropriate questions and not too many, one or two max. So that's it for this video. The next video is your guide to setting up an effective LinkedIn profile. And if you require any further information around interviewing, you can contact any of the resources here, Waterford Library, Work Matters at the Library, or Matrix Recruitment, and we would be delighted to help. Thank you so much.